Hi, everyone. Welcome to your practice today. Um, I'm so happy. I've seen lots of posts with people practicing along with me. So it's really nice to know that we are all practicing together and that we are all connected, even though we can't necessarily be physically together. Um, so as you might be able to tell, it's a little sunny right now in my living room, which I'm so grateful for. My kids are out at the playground, which I know that some places in the world that's not possible right now. So I'm really grateful that they can be out of the house for my own sanity, for the fact that they can run around, they can get some energy out, that they can enjoy the sun. And I'm grateful for all of you, for for everyone who has really stepped up during this time, whether that's healthcare workers, whether that is people delivering groceries, whether that is people putting their yoga classes or their dance classes or their creative pursuits online to share. I just feel really grateful to see everyone coming together. So, our practice this morning will be a practice of gratitude. So finding a seat today on your knees, if this feels comfortable for you. If you need to take a blanket under your knees or the tops of your feet, feel free. It might be good to have two blocks or two props of kind of equal height to have nearby for later. So if sitting on your knees isn't comfortable for you, you can definitely find a seat that works better. Wherever you are, let your hands come down to your knees or your thighs, and you can close the eyes. And taking a few deep breaths, allowing the body to find stillness, allowing the breath to deepen. And just taking a moment here to acknowledge what you are grateful for. Maybe it's the sun, if the sun is shining where you are. Maybe it's someone in your life who's making these times a little bit easier. And let your hands connect in a prayer at your heart, keeping that gratitude alive as we move through our practice today. So breathing in deeply for one Om. Your hands can rest back down on your knees or your thighs. Keeping your eyes closed, with a breath in, draw the hands back on the thighs, elbows coming in toward the ribs, and let the heart puff open. As you breathe out, hands slide down to the knees, rounding the spine, drawing the belly back. Again, like this, elbows drawing back, heart floating open, big inhale. And sliding the hands down, rounding chin toward the chest. One more time like this, opening the front of the body, breathing in, and opening the back of the body, breathing out. Bringing yourself back to a neutral spine, head rising toward the sky. You can let your eyes float open. And we'll come out onto hands and knees. So setting yourself up here on all fours. And right away, we'll meet back in a downward facing dog. So you can float the hips up to the sky, light hips, heavy head. Give yourself some time to wake up this first downward facing dog of your practice. Breathing in and settling into stillness as you breathe out. Listening to the sound of your breath. On your next inhale, like a big wave, float out to a plank pose, sending the heart forward, reaching the heels back. As you exhale, downward facing dog, hips rising, head heavy. 2 more times like that, rolling out to your plank, breathing in. Belly scoops up, hips float, down dog. 1 more time, breathing in and traveling back. Breathing out. Big breath in here in your downward facing dog. And as you exhale is a child's pose, melting the hips all the way back to the heels. Letting your upper body sink and surrender. Taking a look forward at your fingertips, sliding out onto your belly. And there's a baby cobra pose, planting into the palms, letting the heart float open. Exhaling back through hands and knees, tucking your toes, downward facing dog. With a breath in, the right leg reaches high. Drawing that knee in toward the nose, there's a gentle step forward between the hands. Left knee softens to the mat. Toes point and the arms rise to the sky for your low crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana. Soft shoulders, long spine, breathing in. With an exhale, hands come down, framing the right foot, tucking the back toes, extending the back leg, left hand down, right arm to the sky for a twist. Making sure the right side of the neck stays nice and long. With a breath out, right hand comes down, walking the back foot in just a little bit. You can start to lengthen that right leg. This might be a good opportunity to take a prop under each hand. If the right leg doesn't lengthen all the way, no worries. Just be where you are. Let your head release off of the neck. As you inhale, re-bend the right knee. If you have props, you can move them out of the way. Downward facing dog, right foot back to meet the left. Rolling out to your plank, breathing in. Hands and knees as you breathe out, releasing the toes behind you. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Big breath in to lift the heart. Big breath out, bending the elbows, letting the chest and the chin sink down into the space between the thumbs. Sending the legs out, hips melt down to the earth. Baby cobra rising up through the heart. Floating back through hands and knees. Downward facing dog, big exhale. With a breath in, left leg reaches high. Drawing the knee in toward the nose, softly stepping the foot forward. Back knee down, toes point, arms rising for your crescent lunge. Exhale, hands softening down to the floor. Back toes tuck, leg lengthens, left arm to the sky for your twist. Left hand lowers with a breath out, walking the back foot in a step and starting to lengthen the left leg, just as far as it goes. Bowing down, letting the head get heavy. Take a look forward, soften the left knee just a little bit and walk your back foot forward to meet the front foot. Let both knees be really soft. Let the head release. Breathing in. Exhale, softening the knees even more. Heavy hips, unraveling the spine, stacking it up tall. Arms rising for a prayer, breath in. Hands meet at your heart, breath out. Sending the arms up for your prayer, Urdhva Hastasana, as you exhale, folding forward. Breath in, right foot steps back into your low lunge. Downward facing dog, exhaling. Plank pose, rolling out like a big wave. Straight legs or bent legs, lowering with control to the mat. Pointing the toes, heart can float a little bit higher in your cobra. Downward facing dog, exhaling. Right leg high, breath in. Footsteps between the hands, back knee lowers, toes point, rising up crescent lunge, breath in. Hands to the earth, tuck the left toes, extend the back leg, right arm to the sky, finding your twist. Top hand down, back foot forward, long flat back, inhale. Melting over the legs, exhale. Arms rise for your prayer, breath in, hands to your heart, breath out. Send it back up, inhaling, folding forward, Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Left foot travels back, heart is open. Downward facing dog, exhale. Plank pose with a breath in, straight or bent legs lowering to the earth, pointing the toes, rising up through the heart. Downward facing dog, exhaling. Left leg high on a breath in. Footsteps forward, back knee down, toes release, arms rise, crescent lunge. Hands to the mat, tucking the back toes, right leg long, left arm to the sky, breathing in. Top hand down, back foot forward, long spine, long breath. Melting forward, exhale. Arms rise, finding your prayer. Hands to your heart, exhale. Send it back up, breath in. Melting forward, breath out. Right foot back, heart is open. Down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, exhaling. Plank pose with a breath in. You can lower all the way down or hover in a chaturanga, low plank. Rising up, up dog or cobra. Downward facing dog, breath out. Right leg high, inhale. Stepping forward, back knee down, toes point, arms rise, maybe eyes float high. Hands to the mat, tuck your back toes, back leg long, right arm to the sky. Right hand down, step the left foot forward, flat back. Melting forward, exhale. Arms rise for your prayer, hands connect at your heart, exhale. Arms rise, breath in. Folding forward, breath out. Left foot back, heart is open. Downward facing dog, exhaling. Plank it out on your breath in. Lowering half or all the way, breath out. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Downward facing dog, exhale. Left leg high, breathing in. Foot forward, lowering the back knee, pointing the toes. Heart rises, arms rise. Hands to the earth, back leg extends. Left arm to the sky, inhaling. Top hand down, back foot forward, long flat back. Bowing into your legs. Arms rise for your prayer. Hands meet at the heart. Reaching it back up, inhale. Diving forward, exhale. Right foot back, breathing in. This time it's plank pose. Right away, halfway down or all the way down. Rising up, open heart. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Downward facing dog. Big breath in. Big breath out. Right leg high. Inhale. Step the foot forward. Back knee to the earth. Again, it's that crescent lunge. Anjaneyasana. Hands to the earth. Tuck the back toes. Extend the back leg. Right arm to the sky. Breath in. Top hand down. This time, walk your hands out in front of you. And there's a moment in standing split. You can definitely take blocks under your hands if the floor is a little far to reach. Or feel free to bend that bottom knee. Big inhale. Feet together. Exhale. Sending the arms high. Breath in. And fold right back over as you breathe out. Left foot back to your lunge. Inhaling. Plank right through chaturanga or to the earth. Pressing down to open the heart. Downward facing dog. Exhaling. Left leg high, breathing in. Foot forward, lowering the right knee, releasing the toes, arms sweep high. Breath in. Hands to the earth. Tucking the back toes, extending the back leg. Left arm to the sky. Breath in. Top hand down. Walk your hands out in front of you to the floor or to a prop, sending the right leg high for your standing split. Let that head get really heavy. Feet together. Maybe shake the head out a little bit. Rising up to a prayer. Breath in. Hands meet at your heart. Breath out. Utkatasana. Sit your way back into your chair pose. Imagine the energy of the heart reaching up and out through the fingertips. Diver's pose. Send the arms back. Lift up onto the tippy toes. Inner ankles and thighs drawing in towards your midline. Chair pose. Sink it back. Sending the arms high. Breath in. Folding forward. Breath out. Long spine, long breath. Bend your knees. Plant your palms. You can step to plank or hop back into your chaturanga. Inhaling. Exhaling. On a breath in, right leg reaches high. Step that foot forward. Virabhadrasana 1, warrior 1 pose. Left heel to the mat, arms to the sky. As you exhale, flip onto your back toes. So it's turning into a high lunge. Right hand gets heavy. Take your right hand behind you, either catching the outside of the left hip or the outside of the left thigh. Left fingers get really light on a breath in, and then use that right hand, twisting, looking back over the right shoulder. Keeping the shoulders over the hips. Breath in. Unraveling to warrior 2. Left arm back, left heel down, arms wide. Feeling the weight even between your 2 feet. Pressing into those feet, send the arms high for a prayer, looking up towards your fingertips. Exhale, rebending the knees, sink it low. Rising up, flying your warrior, breath in. Rebending the right knee, warrior 2. Last time, rising up, heart floats up toward the sky. Warrior 2 with a breath out. Peaceful, right arm tips up and back, inhaling. Hands circle down to the floor, stepping back through your plank, through your vinyasa. Downward facing dog. Exhaling. Left leg high, breath in. Step it forward for that warrior 1. Left heel down, arms float. Right pinky toe is grounding down into the earth. With an exhale, spin onto your back toes. Feel that right hip spinning in, right ribs facing the front of your room. Breathing out, left hand gets heavy. Take the left hand behind you, catching the upper hip or upper thigh. Right fingers are really light. And then use the left hand to spiral back over the left shoulder. Opening up wide, Virabhadrasana 2. Spiraling the arms. Hips are heavy. Left leg lengthens, arms reach high for a prayer, breath in. Rebending that left knee over the toes. Rising up, looking up towards your fingertips. Left knee bends, breathing out. Last time, send your whole self up and out. Left knee bends. Peaceful, left arm high, breathing in. Cartwheel the hands down, stepping right back through your plank, through your vinyasa. Adding on, right leg high, breath in. Step it forward for that warrior one. Back heel down, arms float. Turning onto your back toes, paralleling the hips. Right hand down, take the hand behind you, and take a big spiral, looking back over the right shoulder. Unraveling into warrior two, arms wide. Fly your warrior up to the sky, turn your right toes in, turn your left toes out, back of your mat, warrior two. Rising back up, arms to the sky, turn the left toes in, turn the right toes out, warrior two. Peaceful, right arm high, breathing in. Right elbow to right thigh, extended side angle. Feeling the left arm extending, left foot grounding down into the earth. Pressing into the feet, warrior two pose. Lengthening the right leg with a breath in. Triangle pose, Trikonasana, reaching forward. Right hand to the right shin. Left arm floating high. Melting it into a low lunge, hands to the floor, right knee bends. Three-leg dog, send your right leg up behind you. Exhale, draw that knee in toward the nose. Shoot it back for a plank. Breath in, exhale to lower. Inhaling and exhaling. Left leg floats, breathing in. Step it forward for that warrior one. Big inhale. Spinning onto your back toes, squaring the hips. Left arm gets heavy. Take the hand behind you, and with an exhale, spiraling, gazing back past your left shoulder. Spiral the arms open, warrior two pose. Lengthen the left leg, arms to the sky, left toes in. Right toes out, back of your mat, warrior two. Rising back up, right toes in, left toes out, back to the front of your mat. Peaceful, left arm high, inhale. Elbow to the thigh, right arm reaching long. Heart spiraling up past the right armpit. Pressing into those 2 feet, warrior two. Lengthening the left leg, inhale. Triangle, dipping your left hand forward before it dips down to the left shin. Softly bending the left knee, hands to the floor. 3-leg dog, send that left leg high, breath in. Knee to the nose, hover into a plank shape. Shoot it back for a plank, heart forward, chaturanga, exhale. Upward facing. Downward facing. Good, let it flow, right leg high, inhale. Step that foot forward for your warrior one, breath in. Turn it into your high lunge, breath out. Right hand down, take a big twist back over your right shoulder. And then open it up, warrior two pose, breathing out. Right leg long, high prayer, turn the right toes in, left toes out, warrior two. Rising back up, left toes in, right toes out, warrior two. Peaceful, right arm high, breathing in. Side angle, either elbow to the thigh or fingertips to the mat, if you want to take it a little bit deeper. Pressing into the 2 feet to rise up, warrior two pose. Right leg lengthens, inhaling, triangle, deepening the right hip crease. Big inhale here. Left hand to left hip. Bend the right knee, walk the fingertips out in front of you to the floor or to a prop, shifting your weight onto that right leg, Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. Heart and eyes spiraling up toward the left hand. Left hand down, step all the way back into a low lunge. Right leg sweeps high for a three-legged dog. Breathing in. Knee to the nose, draw it in. Now spin your left heel down to the earth. Weight onto your left palm. Side plank. Right arm reaches high. Right toes touch down to the mat behind you as a rock star. Let the front of the body rise. Inhale. Flip it right around to a plank. Take it through your vinyasa, or feel free to leave the vinyasa out. Last round like this, left leg high, breathing in. Step it forward, warrior one. Inhale. Spinning onto your back toes, high lunge. Left hand heavy. Take a twist over that left shoulder. And then open it up, warrior two pose. Left leg lengthens, high prayer, turn the toes in. Back of the mat, warrior two. Rising back up, right toes in, left toes out, warrior two. Peaceful, left arm rising, inhale. Extended side angle, elbow to the thigh, or fingertips to the earth. Pressing into your 2 feet, rising back up for your warrior two. Left leg lengthens, inhale. Triangle with your exhale. Heart is rising up toward the right fingertips. Right hand to right hip. Left knee softens, fingers to the floor or to a prop, letting the right side body extend for your half moon pose. Right hand softens to the earth. Big step back with your right foot to the back of the mat. Left leg sweeps high, three-leg dog. Inhale. Knee to nose. Hover it forward. Spin your right heel down to the earth. Setting up for Vashisthasana. Side plank. If you need to lower your right knee to the earth for a supported side plank, definitely take that variation. Left toes touch down behind you, rock star. Open the hips and the heart toward the sky. Flip it right back around for your plank and let yourself float through your breath, through each shape, back to downward facing dog. And a few deep breaths. It'll start the same. Right leg rises on an inhale. Step it forward for that warrior one. Back heel down, arms float. Flipping onto your back toes, find that high lunge. Right hand down, taking a twist, looking back over your right shoulder. Warrior one, both arms high, spin the back heel back down. Take the hands behind your back. Interlacing the fingers, knuckles reaching back, heart peeling open, big inhale. Let yourself bow forward. Bhakti Virabhadrasana, devotional warrior. Bowing forward in gratitude. Pressing into the right foot, lift the eyes just slightly. So you're looking down at your right toes. Spin onto the back toes and launch off that back foot. A variation of warrior three pose. If it's too much to keep the hands clasped, you can always let them go. Drawing the left knee up to the chest. Hug that knee in and up. Staying here, holding onto the knee, or left peace sign wraps around the left big toe. Everyone send the right arm up toward the sky. And if you have the toe, letting the leg sweep out in front of you. Foot directly in front of the left hip. Keep the left leg where it is. Send the left arm to the sky. If your knee is bent, maybe stretch that leg, reaching it forward out in front of you. Bending the left knee, catching the inside or the outside of that left ankle. Draw the knees together, pubic bone lifting up toward the belly. And then the left foot can float up into the left hand, reaching the heart forward and up for your dancer pose. High prayer, step the feet together, arms rise. Tadasana, releasing the arms by your sides. Bring your hands to your hips, standing at the top of your mat. Use the hands to stabilize those two hips and step the left foot back behind you. That back heel is grounding down, and you're seeing if you can keep your weight even between the front and back foot. Your hands might come behind you, finding a prayer between your shoulder blades. But if that's not for you, you can always grab your opposite elbows. Take a big breath in. As you breathe out, sending the heart forward, hips back, long spine. And when you can't go any further with a long spine, you can let your upper body round, letting the nose melt toward the right knee. Pressing into the 2 feet, lengthening, rising up to a flat back. Left hand can come down to the floor under your face, or you might want to take a prop or a block, a book, whatever you have nearby under that left hand. Twisting from the belly, letting the right fingertips rise, rotated triangle pose. Top hand releases down, shifting the weight onto that right foot. It's another standing split. Again, either hands to the mat, or take something underneath your hands so you can bring the floor a little bit closer to you. One more big breath in. Both knees bend, hooking the left knee in behind the right foot, and bringing your hips all the way down to the mat. Arms floating high, big breath in, and it's a twist to your right. Right fingers to the earth, left elbow to the knee, spiraling back. If this is uncomfortable, or if your right hip is hovering off the mat, you can feel free to straighten your left leg. It often gives you a little bit more space. Exhale, counter twist, hands to the left. Let yourself release. Rolling up to sit. Both feet to the mat in front of you. Hands under your thighs. Tip yourself back onto your sitting bones. Feet coming up to knee height or extending the legs long. And then releasing those arms for Navasana, boat pose. Breathing here. As you inhale, we're coming to a half boat pose. So you're hovering, shoulders and heels just a few centimeters off the mat. As you exhale, rise back up. Inhale, lowering, half boat pose. Exhale, rising up, heart is open. One more time, lowering, breathing in. Exhale to rise. One more inhale here. Cross the ankles, roll over your shins. Your journey back, maybe it's a vinyasa, or maybe it's a gentle step back to your downward facing dog. Breathing deeply. Left leg high, inhale. Footsteps forward to your last warrior one here. Back heel down, arms rise. Turning onto your back toes, paralleling the hips. Left hand down, take that big twist over your left shoulder. Both arms back to the sky. Warrior one. Back heel releases down to the floor. Hands behind your back. Hook your other thumb on top. Reaching the knuckles back. Heart open. Big inhale. Melting. Heart to the thigh or maybe both shoulders inside the left thigh. Letting the head drop off of the neck. Pressing into the feet, lifting the chest, looking forward past your left toes. Spinning onto the back heel, and then floating up onto that left leg. Virabhadrasana 3. Right knee to your chest, rise up to stand. Hands collect the knee in and up. Either staying here or taking your yogi toe lock around your right big toe. Wherever you are, left arm reaching high. And maybe sending the right leg out in front of you. Whether your leg is straight or bent, right arm stretches toward the sky. Maybe that right leg extends long. And then bending the right knee. Catching the foot behind you. See if you can keep a lifting up through the front of your body. A dropping down through the back of the body. Left arm high. Right foot rises up toward the right hand for your dancer pose. Knees drawing together, rising back up to stand. And it's Tadasana, mountain pose. Exhale. Hands to the hips. Right foot steps back this time, squaring the right hip forward. Hands behind you, however you found them on the first side. Inhaling. Exhaling, diving the heart forward. Hips reaching back. Long spine, long breath. And then letting yourself fold forward for your pyramid pose. Pressing into the 2 feet, rising up, long spine. Right hand to the floor or to a prop under your nose. And twisting to your left, belly, heart, eyes, and fingers, getting light. Rotated triangle pose. Seeing if the left side of the waist can stay really long. Top hands to the earth. Moving any props either out of the way or bringing props underneath your hands. Shifting forward for that standing split. Floating the right foot high. Heavy head. Both knees soften. Right knee draws in behind the left foot. And hips come down to the mat, maybe stretching the right leg out in front of you if you need that extra space. Arms float. Breathing in. Left fingers to the mat. Right elbow to the knee. And spiraling back over the left shoulder. Making sure the neck is free. Taking the eyes back. And then releasing the twist, hands over to the right. Let yourself bow down. Rolling up to sit. Feet to the mat in front of you, hands down behind you. Big breath in, and as you exhale, scooping the hips high for an altar pose. Either chin to the chest or letting your head dip back. Big breath in. Open your mouth, big breath out. One more time, inhale. Maybe this time stick out your tongue. Big exhale. Hips to the earth. Crossing your ankles, your journey back through a vinyasa. Downward facing dog. Breathing in deeply here. And with an exhale, it's a child's pose. Releasing back to your heels. Maybe you take your hands to a prayer out in front of you. And if it feels good, maybe bending the elbows, letting that prayer shape come to the neck or the upper back. And bringing your attention back to that point of gratitude that you found in the very beginning of your practice. Maybe it's just gratitude that you have this time for yourself, that you have your body, that you can move and breathe. Sometimes it's the simplest things that can fill us with the most joy. If you bent the elbows, you can send the arms out long. Walking the hands back to the knees, rolling up to sit. Now we're going to come to stand on our knees. So if your knees are sensitive, you can roll over the top of your mat, or you can take a blanket underneath your knees for a little bit of extra padding. Knees are aligned right under your hip points, tucking the toes underneath you. Bringing the hands onto the back of the pelvis. Sending the hands into the pelvis, reaching the pubic bone forward. Belly lifts, heart lifts, eyes can start to float toward the sky. Now you might stay here with the hands on the hips, or you might let your hands reach back to your heels for your camel pose, Ustrasana. Hands to the hips, if they lowered, rising back up with a breath in. Pointing the toes, sitting down on the heels for a few breaths, just letting the spine relax, letting the spine be neutral. One more time, rising back up onto your knees. Knees open, thighs parallel. You can tuck the toes underneath you, which will bring the hips a little bit closer to, bring the heels a little bit closer to you, or you can point the toes, which might take you a little bit deeper into the back bend. Hands onto the hips, pubic bone forward, front of the body opening. And again, you stay here, or you melt the hands back to those heels for your camel pose. If your hands find your heels, press the hands into the heels and see if the thighs and the pubic bone can reach forward even more. Hands to the hips, inhale, rising up to a long spine. If your toes are tucked, point the toes. And one more time, sitting on your heels, long spine. And you can move any props out of the way. Swing your legs around in front of you and just gently roll yourself down onto your back. Once you're on your back, separate your feet so your feet are about as wide as your mat. Let your two knees knock in toward each other. On a breath in, send the arms out wide. And on a breath out, give yourself a big hug. And just with the arms, letting the feet stay grounded. Feeling the back of the body expanding, melting into the earth beneath you. Inhale, sending the arms out wide. Exhale, giving yourself one more hug, but cross your arms in the other way. So other arm on top. Walking the feet back together. And then drawing the knees in towards your chest. You can give everything a big hug here. And maybe it's a little movement, a little rock from side to side. Taking a few rocks and rolls up and down your spine a few times. Starting soft. You can let them get bigger as you rock forward and back. Eventually rocking yourself up to sit, and we'll meet back in a downward facing dog. If you want to move through one last vinyasa, you can feel free to take yourself through that flow. If not, it's a few breaths in your down dog. Right leg reaches high, breathing in. And moving toward pigeon pose, drawing that right shin forward. Feel free to take a prop under your right hip if you need a little extra padding there. And if you have blocks or books or something nearby, take those under your hands. If you don't, you can just press your fingertips down into the floor. Really ground down into the floor or into your props, feeling the shoulders releasing down the back, spine lifting and lengthening, hips getting heavy. Now you might stay here, or you might bend your back knee. If you bend the back knee, you can reach back with your hand, your left hand, for your left foot. You might even take the foot into the elbow. And if that feels comfortable, you might send the right arm to the sky, maybe catching the hands behind the head in a mermaid shape. Wherever you are, just finding that big opening through the heart. And you're welcome to stay in whatever shape you found here. But whenever you're ready to crawl it forward, to turn it into a forward fold, you can definitely release over that right leg. And drawing yourself back up. Long spine. Moving your props off to the sides. Tucking your back toes. Gently stepping your right foot back. It's your last down dog here. Maybe wiggling the hips a little bit, trying to even out the two sides of the body. Left leg stretches high on a breath in. And moving into that pigeon on the second side, setting up shin parallel to the top of the mat. Hips heavy, padding under the left hip if that feels good for you. Taking either your fingertips down to the earth or taking blocks under your hands and using that connection downward through the palms to find even more length through the spine. Staying here, or maybe playing with bending the back knee, taking whatever variation feels good for you. Sometimes the two sides can be really different, so, just listen to your body. Giving your body what it needs, what it's craving. Nothing more, nothing less. And again, you're welcome to stay in whatever lifted vertical shape you found here. Or when you're ready, you can melt yourself out onto your palms, onto your elbows, maybe onto your forehead. If you took that forward fold, you can rise back up, find the long spine, letting any props move out of the way. Sinking your left hip down to the floor, swinging both legs around in front of you. And shake out those legs a little bit. You can give them a little massage, a little rub here, releasing any tension, any holding. Sitting up high on the sitting bones, maybe taking a blanket underneath your hips for a little extra space if you need it. Feet flexing, arms floating, breath in. And it's a big reach out along your two legs. Paschimottanasana. Rolling yourself back up, coming up to sit. And you can take a seated meditation if you like, maybe finding Sukhasana, easy pose, letting your hands rest down on your knees, letting your eyes close. And just finding an opportunity to focus on the breath, to focus on all that you have. And just to say thank you. You can stay sitting in meditation for as long as you'd like. Feel free to take a Shavasana when you're ready. thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate your practice. I appreciate your energy. Namaste.